They have been called geeks, nerds, creeps, burnouts, wimps, losers, punks, weirdos. But me, I just call them rock and rollers. They're out there making the most of it in sweaty basements and danky clubs, usually wearing some combination of denim, stripes, and leather. Some nights share a striking resemblance to the movie Rock and Roll High School, but who doesn't want to be like Riff Randall a little bit, right? They're not what you think, though. Overall, the scene has evolved beyond Cro-Magnon aggressives and nihilist hipsters to, by and large, a group of creative, intelligent, sensitive, and funny people.
My favorite color is blue.
And my favorite color is white.
It's not a subculture of rules anymore. It's a community. I suppose that's it, though. Rock and roll, since its inception, has always been a community for outcasts, rebels, loners of all kinds. It's a way to forget your problems, do what you want to do, and be who you want to be. And most importantly, it's a place to meet girls.
We'll say I'm Jimmy, and we'll say that I play in The Bad Lovers, The Wolf, Rocky and the Wildcat, Dick Sex and the Weepy Teens.
I play in The Bad Lovers, Sweat Lodge, and The Wolf is me, Austin, and Jimmy from The Bad Lovers, and a couple other guys.
I am Austin Shockley. I'm in The Bad Lovers, The Wolf, and Sweat Lodge.
The Best, and then Manatee Tights with Nate.
I'm Nate. I'm in a band called Manatee Tights.
Orville Baben Neely III. I play with currently Bad Sports, OBM3's Giant Dog, James Arthur's Manhunt, Bad Vibes. Anything else? The Best. Okay, yeah. Playing The Best, which Caleb, the drummer for Bad Lovers, he plays with us.
The Wolf, The Best, Sweat Lodge, and Manatee Tights are just some of the very, very long list of bands that are happening right now in the Austin, Texas garage scene. What do these specific bands have in common? For starters, they are all related to 5 particular people. Jimmy.
It's a very professional operation.
Caleb.
She said something about loving to make love to be.
Austin.
I don't need this fantasy shit.
Nate.
It's okay if your friends do it, but this guy... I don't know.
And Orville.
I blame them.
And most importantly, all 5 of these particular individuals are an integral part of the past, present, and future of the most important band of them all, the Bad Lovers.
Girl, you got me acting strange. What doing things I can't explain. And I can't say just if it's right. No, no, no. But I don't guess it's gonna change. Well, now you got me running wild. Like I'm about to lose my mind. And now the only chance I got, is just to leave it all behind.
Jimmy, also known in this documentary as Tim, and his friend Nate.
He missed at first and like wound his way around.
Wow.
Were in the first local band I ever saw in my life. I was going to college at Sam Houston State University and working at a record store called the Ear Doctor in Huntsville, Texas. They played a show at the store and were banned from ever playing there again after an impromptu puking contest. They were young, they were bratty, and they were astounding. They were called The Influence.
Man's got a mohawk and he's running for president.
I really looked up to the time, like the vomiting shows and the shows. He'd show up in the tattered shirt and huge fur coat and just scream at the audience. But the audience was just his total nemesis.
He was like short and pale as shit and wore REM t-shirts that went down to his knees and like didn't really talk to anybody. We started playing music in the 7th grade, the Influence and stuff. Like Jimmy like wrote pretty much all the songs and I was the bassist, and like from a very early age I was like, I really respect his songwriting, like I can't do this. I'll stick around on bass and listen to some Rancid records and like figure out how to play along with him, and we can do the punk rock high school thing.
I mean, in Denton, I guess it was probably the same here, but there was really nothing to do, so if you were bored, you'd start a band.
Started as a project in Denton, where I lived with Jimmy, and Orville, and we had a recording studio in our garage.
And you guys like made a record.
Yeah, we did.
It was like professional. It was like a professional record.
Not really. I
know. I just like.
There's 800 copies of it in Orville's garage that I'm sure he's going to yell at me about when he moves out. Like,
right.
I'll have to go get him.
I like to give them away, mass quantities of them as white elephant gifts. People love that. Just give them like 50 CDs.
We got 1,000 copies at Orville's urging, and he had snuck in at night and remixed it after Tim and I had mixed it during the day.
It was in Denton where they met a strong ally in their rock and roll conquests, an outspoken and driven kid named Orville. Orville Bateman Neely III, to be exact.
Competence is very important, unless you don't care about quality. Like when I joined the Influence, it was like, as soon as I heard the band, I was like, yeah, these are pretty good, but I know how it could be better.
And when Orville came in, he was like no patience for us dicking around.
Like living with Tim and Nate in Denton, it was always so hard to get them to like want to go out and like meet other people and just be like, hey, these guys might be able to help us get some better shows.
Well, Nate told us that you guys went on, like the Influence actually went on a tour that didn't really last very long.
I blame them.
We tried to go on tour.
Yeah, that was sort of a tour. I mean, I think we were out for like 12 days and played like 3 shows, something like that.
The Influence went on tour.
Our first show was in Johnson City, Tennessee, which is like a 17-hour drive.
Why would you ever book a show there? I mean, we had no clue what we were doing.
Like Orville drove pretty much the whole way. Like, woke up in a parking lot with like this chubby prostitute like saying goodbye to her John in like a pink cowboy hat, and Orville had parked and gone to eat like this giant country breakfast.
Went and ate in some diner by myself while the other guys slept. And by, a couple hours before showtime, I just felt really sick.
Which gave him diarrhea, so we drove around like looking for bathrooms for him.
And so first day of tour for me, everybody else is just kind of like, oh, dude. Johnson City. We got to Nashville a day early, went to the club that we were supposed to play at, didn't talk to anybody about what was up with the show the next night.
Drove down to Nashville, the show had been canceled, didn't have much money, we're walking around, like me and Jimmy are just like, man, this sucks, like maybe we should go home, and Orville's like, fuck you guys, like let's keep doing it.
It was like a 19-hour drive and 3 days beyond that, so we just decided to go home. Nobody seemed to mind. We had like 4 more dates set up, and nobody called us when we didn't show up. So.
And I was like, what? But the show tomorrow night, like, can't we just drive up to Indianapolis, please? Let's go up there.
little did we know, I mean, we were missing out on playing in a place where, with a really cool, popular band, far more popular than the Influence ever was or will be, and in one of the friendliest places on earth.
It just got too depressing and we went home, so we didn't end up
playing with the New Bomb Turks.
I don't know if you know this, but Indianapolis, or Indiana in general, has some of the nicest people I've ever met, but nicer than us, a bunch of curmudgeon little bitches that couldn't make up their mind or do anything right.
Jimmy and Nate started to write new material without Orville under the alias The Teenage Bees. The Teenage Bees had Jimmy and Nate switching between drums and guitar. The band sometimes asked their Denton peer Orville to fill in on bass at gigs.
Live, they played a few shows just as a two-piece, and eventually were just like, hey, would you mind coming in and just playing bass on these songs and playing drums on these songs, so it just kind of switch back and forth and stuff.
2009 saw the end of the Teenage Bees and of Denton. Nate was already writing and performing his own songs in the Teenage Bees, so in the wake of the band's breakup, Nate started work on his own project called Manatee Tights. Jimmy had different plans to move in with his brother Seth, who had a studio called Super Pop in the West Campus area of Austin.
Yeah, it was kind of like a punk rock flop house. It was so many people that would just show up every day and be drunk at the picnic table in the yard. It was a scene. I'm Seth Gibbs, and I think at the moment I only play in Bobby Jealousy.
Jimmy lived in the closet there for, I don't know, a year or more, and there were, you know, a lot of the people that we see now, like, would hang out at the picnic table and we'd drink too much, and I think at some point Seth got tired of it because it was impeding on his ability to work.
And I went over there a few times. I was like, oh, this is cool, having no idea how f***ed up that spot would get over the next few years from, you know, Tim's friends living in there and stuff.
I think Super Pop was a real, it really drew people in at that point. I don't know what it was about it, but like we'd go out to, like on a day off, just go drink at the picnic table, and there'd already be, you know, like 7 or 8 people there, and then throughout the day, more people would come and just filter through. Yeah,
I was there.
I thought that was real neat.
They were almost all in bands or about to be in bands, and everyone was writing music together and playing music together constantly. Yeah, it was almost nonstop. I tried to emulate a lot of what Jimmy did.
And I think he was trying to emulate what you were doing too.
I like to think that. For quite a while, I did some covers from his high school band, The Influence. I actually, when I went to England, I had a really good time playing covers of his old songs from high school, and they went over really, really well. After he changed his name, he tried to enforce everyone having a name change. He decided that everyone needed to throw off their slave names, and he decided what their new names would be. If they had a suggestion, he would consider it, but he decided what their new name was going to be.
What was yours?
My name was Gnash Teeth.
I'm not crying 'cause I know you'd never wanna stay with me too long. I'm just crying 'cause of all the things you said that I believe were true. I'm crying for the broken pieces of the love that I gave to you. I'm not trying to say there's any other way that this could be. And I'd be lying if I said that it'd be different if you were me. I'm just crying for the dreams you gave to me that I thought I would see come true. I'm crying for the broken pieces of the love that I gave to you. Your words came so easy while you told me your lies. Now the tears fall easy from my eyes. I'm not crying 'cause I know you're better off there where you belong. I'm not crying 'cause I know you never wanna stay with me too long. I'm just crying 'cause of all the things you said that I believe were true. I'm crying for the broken pieces of the love that I gave to you. And now I'm picking up the pieces of the love that I gave to you.
Caleb and Austin are friends. They live together in a house in North Austin. They also happen to be one of the best rhythm sections the city of Austin has to offer. As other musicians know, it's hard enough to find people to play the bass and the drums in the first place. So it's exceptionally rare to meet people that have the friendship and chemistry that these two have.
Me and Austin are very locked in. We've been playing 3 bands together.
Totally. Well, and y'all lived together for a while.
And we've lived together for like 5 years.
Sweat Lodge, The Wolf, and The Bad Lovers all feature the duo and are all the better because of it.
Yeah, me and Caleb got a good thing going on.
I don't know. We should have a style together, and anybody who shows us a song.
It kind of gets that
Yeah.
put on.
Yeah, I'm lucky to have Caleb as a drummer too. I mean, yeah, good guy. I mean, we've been best friends for however many years now. I don't know. We started doing stuff together. It's still hard to play. Like even though we wrote it, you know, it's like how did we do this? You know. Like,
Dude, you missed a hell of a party. There was confetti out the yin yang. We threw shredded money all over everybody.
When there's a big crowd, it's hard not to be skeptical.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's somebody that I haven't met before, I sincerely doubt that they're there to see us, you know?
The release show far exceeded my expectations. We didn't want to play last because we're scared that nobody comes to shows for us. But they did.
Yeah. Nobody wants to headline.
No.
It's always a fight.
Well, Caleb said
See who has to headline.
We can't seem to convince ourselves that any of the audience is there to see us.
Yeah, we tried really hard to not play last.
No, totally. I saw
Orville
some-
made us play last. And
did?
Orville?
Oh, okay.
What are you afraid people are gonna leave? It's your show, you know? Yeah, don't think about it too much, just do it.
Of all the bands mentioned in this episode, not one of them can match the balance, tough, and saccharine that the Bad Lovers are able to achieve in just 3 chords.
Yeah, I think it's the only way for good things, I mean really genuinely good things to come, you know, is if you're doing whatever you felt like doing, you know.
Right.
I mean, if you're trying to do it to make money or get on the radio or something, I think we're just trying to have fun. And I mean, there's a difference between doing what you really enjoy and sort of doing what you feel like you ought to do. we've all just sort of figured out what we really enjoy.
Through their work together in the Bad Lovers and the Wolf, Jimmy, Caleb, and Austin have developed a sound that's unique totally to them.
Yeah, it's just like now we've kind of become a band. Before we were just three guys who didn't really know each other. And
we can tell each other what we want each other to do also without there being some kind of, I don't know. Yeah, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of developed a style of our own. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, we sound like us, I guess.
I think what we can take away from the Bad Lovers is that you can be introspective without being predictable. You can be sweet without being corny. And you can have no aspirations at all and still have a real cool time. Also, it doesn't hurt to be in the right place at the right time. That's when stuff really falls together. Acquaintances become friends, friends become bandmates, bandmates get you to write better songs.
Like Tim. Like, how come you haven't written a song in a month?
And on and on and on and on. Jimmy usually seems to be somewhere around that right place most of the time. And if you're around him, it usually works out pretty good for you too.
I got my start from Tim, really. If it weren't for Tim, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. I wouldn't be doing much of anything. So even if we're not playing in a band together, we're still friends, but I owe him a lot, you know.
There was really something to his cool lo-fi punk rock recordings. And I watched him do it and get better and better and better at it. You know, it became cleaner, more intelligent recordings. And I learned a lot from that.
I don't know, I think you need to have some spontaneity and just some ignorance of what you're doing. You know, you gotta just do something and not know. It can't be premeditated. And once you teach yourself enough that you can't do anything that's not premeditated, that's not spontaneous, then you just can't have fun with it. You know?
Toward the end of filming, I got a call from Jimmy about something having to do with this episode. I can't really remember what. I asked after him, and it turned out that Jimmy's van had caught fire on the way to Galveston.
I'd be borrowing Tim's van and be like, hey, get in the car and listen to this. I just recorded this a few days ago. Just being like, yeah, and having people be like, okay, or really liking it, you know. It's like his van was where I would test recordings and stuff like that.
The van ended up burning to the ground while Jimmy waited for AAA and the fire department to show up. The funny thing is that if I had not asked Jimmy how he was doing during our conversation, he would have never mentioned the incident at all. The fact that it was almost never mentioned says a lot about Jimmy, and it also says a lot about the Bad Lovers. They are a group that takes each day as it comes.
Maybe we want to do another record if we can. We want to go on tour if we can.
There are no great aspirations for tomorrow. There is no past and no future, just the present. They are living examples of all the things that we forgot when we were young.
I don't know, I'm just kind of coasting, hoping it all works out.